Welcome to the North Texas Community Difference-Wylie. Brought to you in part by Master Networks Wylie and powered by the Difference Media LLC. Today's show is hosted by the creator of the North Texas Community Difference series, Lendon Wilson,
and co-hosted by Jessica Cooper and Dallas Jones.
The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals. So sit back and relax as our co-host and their guests share thoughts and insights about being a professional and the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in a very special way. Because the North Texas Community Difference-Wylie starts now.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the North Texas Community Difference-Wylie. I'm Lendon Wilson, the creator of The Difference, radio, live stream, and podcast network. We have several shows around the Metroplex. We have Denton, Frisco, Plano, Wylie. We have two shows right now. We do have an announcement coming up about those two shows soon. We're working on getting Rockwall going, as well as Rowlett and McKinney. So really excited about the shows that we have and what we're able to bring to each community. One of the things that we wanted to be able to do when we started this is to bring awareness to the people, places, and events in our community that are doing some amazing things. Most of the time when we turn on our regular mainstream TV, we're hearing all the negative things about people. We're hearing all the negative things about the locations, the cities, whatever it may be. And while things happen, there's a lot of good things happening that get overlooked. And so we put together a group of local business owners that co-host and sponsor the show. We got two on today. One is Dallas Jones, the tech doctor, and Miss Jessica Cooper with Diesel Signs and Displays. They're part of the Master Networks group here in Wylie, a networking organization that is incredible. We'll talk more about that later. But that's a little bit about the Community Difference shows and series. If you're in a community and you don't have one there yet, reach out to me. My information will be scrolling. And we can talk about what it takes to get one going within your community. But it's a great way to help the residents that may not know about city leadership. They may not know about the businesses that are offering the services and why. And then also the nonprofits and just the community organizations that make such an impact within the city. So enough about that. I'm going to bring on Mr. Jones and Ms. Cooper. Welcome. How are y'all doing?
Good morning.
Everybody doing okay today?
So far,
Absolutely.
So far, so good. Well, it is live broadcast, so you have to say so far, so good, because anything can happen at any point in time. Thank y'all for being on today. Both of you part of the Master Networks group. We'll talk about that probably towards the end of the show. What we're going to do now is give you guys, each one of you, just a chance to talk briefly about who you are and what you do. And then I'm going to allow you to bring in your guests before we go to a break. When we come back from break, we'll talk about the What's Up Wylie segment and then get into depth more about your guests. So ladies first, Jessica, tell everybody watching a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, hello, everyone. Signs and displays. I'm pretty much one of the old timers. I've been doing signs since 1997. I got a degree in graphic design and had a great opportunity to take over a Sign Pro franchise. Is actually how I got into the sign world. I love what I do each day, regardless of what I told you 5 minutes ago. I love what I do. I love creating, I love designing, I love fabricating, installation. We do all commercial interior and exterior displays. So there's really only one language I speak, and that's sign language.
Sign language. That's cool. That's so clever. Jessica, tell me, what's the greatest thing about being in the business that you're in?
Besides collaboration, it'd be the sky's the limit. I never hear the word no. I get to create, I get to design, and nothing really stops us. Nothing holds us back. We kind of get to think outside of the box and come up with different solutions for clients. So
Awesome.
it's always changing every day.
Well, Jessica, thank you for being here today, and thank you for being part of the Community Difference-Wylie. We really appreciate you and your contributions here. Dallas Jones with Rementis. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what Rementis is, and why people need it more than what they realize.
Oh, wow. That's a loaded question.
But it is true, right? It's also it'll be a true answer.
Well, much like Jessica, I got my start in the 90s in IT, and that's what I've been doing my entire life is translating the digital world into our realities. And so Rementis is my company name, and it really just means the act of re-remembering stuff. And so our focus is on IT services that revolve around memories and data and making sure that all stays safe. And we also have a division where we take old memories like photographs, videos, VHS tapes, and all that fun stuff and convert them to where you can enjoy that, because nobody has those old TVs anymore or the reel-to-reel projector. And if you do, it might not work. So that's really my passion, is taking what people care about the most, which is their memories, and making sure that you can enjoy those for years to come.
Awesome. So you're telling me then, if I've got some really good memories about the Dallas Cowboys, but I no longer have the equipment that will play the good old days, that you could help transfer that into something more progressive and more in time of what we have?
Well, we're not going to have to worry about that this year, are we?
Let's hope not.
I'm not a football fan in general, but it's like every year is our year. So that this year is going to be our year, right?
The greatest sales pitch in the history of sales pitches. Jerry Jones has been doing that for almost 30 years now. I posted a meme the other day on Facebook that said the Dallas Cowboys have just joined the Big 12, so we can all have a little bit of hope. So we're about halfway through our first segment. Obviously, we take a break at the 15-minute mark. What we want to do now is we want to bring on your guests, and we're going to let your guests, you're going to introduce them. They're going to get to talk a little bit about who they are, what they do. Not too much in depth for the first segment, because we're going to come back in our second segment and really drill down a little bit more about who they are. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Officer Matt Pesta on. I hope I said that right. And then Wylie Mayor Matthew Porter. Welcome to the show, fellas.
Thank you.
All right, Jessica, I'm going to let you introduce your guest first, and then we'll let him talk, and then Dallas will introduce Mayor Porter.
So I would like to introduce Officer Matt Pesta. He is with the Garland Canine Unit. And just a quick backstory, and it's going to tie into what our topic is about today, is an Officer Danny Lambusis. He has a dog named Diesel, and Diesel unfortunately was hurt in the line of action a couple of years, 2 to 3 years ago. And since our name is Diesel, we had actually just seen a Facebook post, and we reached out to the Garland Canine Unit, and we ended up sending a gift basket, a get well basket to Diesel. And that's how we started working with the Garland Canine Unit. So we love those guys. We love all the men and women with the Garland Police Department. They've all been really cool with us, and we love being supportive there. So I would like to introduce Officer Matt Pesta.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to be here with y'all and, be able to speak about some of the things we have going on here at the Garland Police Department. But, thank you, Officer Matt Pesta. I have worked with the Garland Police Department since 2006. I actually started volunteering as a, young adult, and ultimately went to work in our jail. I worked in our jail for 5 years. And then I joined our police academy and became a police officer. And so I've worked in several different units. I worked patrol for about 5 years. I worked in our neighborhood police officer unit for 5 years. And then I work very, very closely with the canine unit, but I'm actually not one of our canine handlers. I'm a community relations officer and one of our public information officers. And so I tell people patrol deals with everybody's worst days of their life, because you're not really calling 911 to ask people to come drink coffee and eat donuts with them. But I actually get to deal with everybody's best days. And so I love my job. It's a great career, and I really enjoy getting to do a different thing every day. No day is ever the same, and so it's an honor to be here. I'm married. I have two small young daughters that just, one started fourth grade, the other one just started kindergarten. So they started yesterday, and so it's super exciting, very busy time in our lives, but it's an honor to be here with y'all this morning, and so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Sweet. So I feel like my guest doesn't need an introduction. He is the mayor of Wylie, Texas, the greatest city in the greatest state in the greatest country on the greatest planet. And so that is Mayor Matthew Porter. He is just an amazing person, a proud Aggie, and a husband and a fur daddy, I guess you could say, or however you're supposed to say that, or and is very passionate about animals and even more passionate about our city. And so, without further ado, Mayor Porter.
Well, thank you, Dallas. That's after that introduction, I feel like I should be wearing a cape or something like that, or have a billboard somewhere. But no, it is my honor to serve as the 46th mayor for the city of Wylie. We have been around for quite a while, since the late 1800s, since 1887 of formal incorporation here. And in addition to that, I work full time for Texas Health Resources. As Dallas mentioned, I'm the loudest, proudest member of the Fighting Texas Aggie class of 2007, and then went to grad school, which is where I met my wife. I have a master's in healthcare administration. And so I have worked as a director for Texas Health Resources now for about 7.5 years. And I've been serving the city for about 5. Spent 2 years on council, and just was reelected in May to my second full term as mayor. So I'm just starting that off, and I'm excited about a lot of the projects that we have going within the city, both from business development to nonprofit to infrastructure improvement. So very busy time. I always laugh. I tell people they think that when you get elected to an office, you get to quit your day job. I told them that is not the case for most of us throughout North Texas that are in public service at the city level. It's something that you have to do because you have a heart and a passion for it, not because you get to quit your day job. You get to take on a second job instead. So, but thank you guys for having me today.
All
right. Well, looks like Lendon's mic is muted.
There it is. I got it back. Right. I wanted to say thank you, Mayor, for being on. And one of the things that I really appreciate about our communities, and the more when we do these shows, the more I'm learning, is what you just said, is that you really truly are serving the community. It's not a career move. It is something that you do because you care about the community, you care about the residents. And so I want to say we appreciate you being on today, and thank you for what you do for the city of Wylie, because I think Dallas is right. Wylie is an incredible place to be and to live. And I've only been here a short time, but already love it. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to do the What's Up Wylie segment. And then we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the city. And Jessica and Dallas are going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk to Officer Matt and Mayor again about what they do and get in a little bit more depth. So everybody stick around. We'll be right back.
The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie is made possible in part by One Payon and JP Direct Health, providing affordable health insurance solutions as a proactive protection, not a reactive solution. Lendon Wilson and Community Wealth Advisors, Life Well Planned. Angela Tucker with Coldwell Banker Apex. Here to help you discover your real estate dreams and build wealth through all stages of life. Cordell Reynolds with Platinum Eagle Mortgage. Your mortgage journey starts here. Marley Knapp with Norwex, chemical-free, sustainable solutions for your home. And by Terra Padilla with Texan Window Cleaning. Don't let dirty windows be your pane in the glass.
The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie. Together, we can make the difference. And now back to the show.
All right. I want to thank our sponsors. Sponsors are also part of our co-hosting team that we have. And the co-hosting team is also part of Master Networks Wylie. We'll talk more about that towards the end of the show. Now it's time for our What's Up Wylie segment.
What's up, Wylie?
And Dallas and Jessica are going to take turns talking a little bit about that. Mayor Porter, if you want to get in on this as well, because I'm sure you know some things that are going on that everybody might want to know about. We'll go ladies first, as always. So Jessica, you are up.
So I do want to mention that there is a career fair going on at the Career Club Virtual Job Fair that goes on Friday, September 1st. You can find that on the Facebook events. But I do want to mention that the Rowlett Animal Shelter took in 14 animals last night. They're already at overcapacity. And so I would like to reach out and let everyone know you should adopt, not shop. And then also the Texas Coalition of Animal Protection is selling shirts for one of their fundraisers. And today is the last day. And you can either buy a shirt or if you want to drop them, maybe $20. But the shirt is every day is hump day, spay and neuter your pets. So it's all animal related mostly today for me.
Good stuff.
And that just warms my heart. If my wife is watching, I am sorry if they're
Charmin,
animals.
5'5".
She might come home and there might be another dog or cat or something. Bring them all home. But no. So next week in Wylie, the Wylie Chamber of Commerce is hosting the Chamber of Commerce monthly luncheon. It starts at 11 o'clock on Tuesday, the 22nd. And this month's topic for luncheons is nonprofits. So there are going to be several nonprofits at the luncheon, and they're going to be speaking a little bit about who they are, what they do in the community. And so if you want to get involved with that, wyliechamber.org is the place to be to sign up and get tickets, or you can call the chamber, talk with Tina. I'm sure she can get you in.
All right. Mayor Porter, do you have anything?
So this is kind of one of those dead periods as far as official city events going on. If you've been outside in the last, 2 or 3 weeks, you kind of understand why we try not to have a lot of outdoor events this time of year. But I do want to point out, the heat will get you. October 3rd, National Night Out at Old City Park. It's always a great opportunity for people to come out. It's from 5:30 to 8. Great chance to interact with our first responders. Both police and fire will be there. Life Flight lands unless they're called elsewhere. So just a good opportunity to get out and be part of the community and again, interact with our first responders.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. Well, since you're already on screen now, let's talk a little bit more about how you got into leadership in Wylie as far as is doing the mayor's role. I know you talked about Texas Health and what you do in your day job, in your real job. But what attracted you to the leadership position? Talk about that a little bit, and then tell us what you love the most about being mayor.
Okay. So kind of what led me into being interested, because politics, while I was always an informed voter, as I tell people, always be an informed voter, was just attending a lot of council meetings. There were a lot of discussions around tax rates, around budgeting, around what the right type of development was or what the future of the city would look like. And you get 3 minutes to address council. They're always open to the public. But at the end of the day, to really have more of a voice in what was going on and in the decisions being made, having a seat as one of the 7 council members, whether you're place 2 or you're the mayor, each vote counts equally. And it gives you an opportunity to really participate in the back and forth of those discussions. You can present a lot of information as a citizen, but you don't have the opportunity to come up over and over and kind of debate a fact or debate a point. And so I was interested in being able to bring kind of my perspective to the council. And so that was what led me to running for a seat. And then from there, just took kind of the next step to running for mayor. As people from Wylie know, I ran unopposed for mayor. Our former mayor served many, many years, 12 years as the mayor. Mr. Eric Hogue, our former mayor, he poured his heart and time into the community for over a decade, and he had some grandchildren that I knew he was looking forward to seeing. It was not something I discussed with him as far as a transition or anything like that, but I knew he was considering when the time was right. And at that point in time, my wife and my boss were both supportive of me taking that next step and all that additional time that comes with it. And that's something that just has to align in public service if it's going to be not your day job where you're doing it as a career. You have to have that buy-in from your family and from whomever it is that you're working for, whether it's your own business and having the time, or whomever your boss is at that business, allowing you to attend meetings and functions. As far as my favorite thing to do is to be able to honor the people who make Wylie special, being able to honor life saves by our fire department and EMS crews, our police department when they've been involved in those, being able to honor our students through our Wylie Way Awards. They actually come to the city, and those are not based on academics. Academics are great, and there are a lot of awards for these, but these are character awards that are given to students who exemplify the leadership traits that we want to see in our young people moving forward. And so being able to honor those types of people, as well as our nonprofits and other organizations, are kind of always the happy special times. And so those are the ones that are closest and nearest and dearest to me.
Awesome. Dallas, do you and Jessica have any questions for Mayor Porter?
I've actually been an admirer from afar, but I think you're doing a bang-up job for Wylie. So.
Well, I appreciate it.
Word on the street is you're very well respected. So.
Yes, I've heard the same thing. I've heard all good things about you, Mayor, and I appreciate that. Is there anything you can share with us that's coming Wylie's way, or anything that's going to give everybody a wow moment that maybe transitioning or moving in, maybe a business company moving into Wylie that you can share with us?
Yeah, just some of the things that have been coming down the pipeline, as you mentioned, that I can actually publicly share. As people have been watching, the Rock is transformed into Creekside.
Yep.
They should have an announcement shortly about being available and open to the public. I don't know their exact date, but it should be sometime in the next couple of weeks. I know additional sit-down restaurants has long been a topic within the city. And then we announced Farrah's, who's opening their new concept in Wylie. They've already purchased the building over in Westgate and 78 in front of the apartments that are across from Home Depot. If you missed that announcement, they are bringing a smokehouse cantina concept to the city of Wylie. And so Chef Barack Uskan, it's a chef-driven restaurant, which is something we really don't have a lot of in the city of Wylie. And it will be a fusion between barbecue and Tex-Mex, which I think people will really enjoy.
That's nice.
Yes. And so again,
that'll be awesome.
I'm sorry?
That's going to be awesome.
It will be. And so I expect them to open late spring. We're talking maybe the April timeframe of next year. So not a huge lead time for them. And that will give us 2 new additional restaurants that will be very nice additions to the community. And it's always great to see things come into that aren't duplicating. We hear about all the places that choose to come to Wylie that we may not go out and pursue, but they're offering a product that is already offered here in the community. And we always welcome new members. But it's also great to add places that fill in those gaps within the marketplace as well and best serve our citizens.
All right. Well, Mayor, thank you for that. We're going to talk more about that later on the show. Right now, we want to bring in Officer Pesta and just let him talk a little bit more about what you do, and then also tell us a little bit about Garland. I mean, we're basically neighbors, right? So just right down the road, and so we've had people from Saxe and from Murphy, and just because we call this the Wylie Show doesn't mean that we don't have brotherhood around us, right? So Tell us a little bit about Garland that most people in Wylie may not know.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I'll lead with that about Garland. So we are a very large city, square mileage. We're about 57.5 square miles. We cover a lot of land, and we border Dallas, Wylie, Saxe, Richardson, and so it's parts of Sunnyvale. We are a bustling community. The census says we have somewhere between 235,000 people all the way up to 245,000. But if you kind of break it down, zoom out just a little bit and take a bigger picture, we have major highways that come through here, industry. We have millions of people that traverse, live, work, go to school here. And so we are a bustling community, always on the go. And I grew up in the Garland area. I actually lived in Saxe, but I attended Garland ISD schools. All of my friends lived in Garland. And so I was coming into Garland to do most of my shopping and hanging out with friends and stuff like that. And so I've been, I feel like, ingrained in the Garland community most of my life. I lived here for several years myself, and then I've been a part of the police department since 2006. And so, man, I love Garland. Garland is full of just hardworking, very generous people that'll give you the shirt off their back. And so those are just some of the things I love about this city and working for the community that, that's been a part of me and given me an opportunity. And so I feel like we're all given windows of opportunity in life. And, Garland gave me a great opportunity that I was fortunate enough to, have the know-how and will to jump through that window. And so I've been very blessed in my career and been surrounded by some of the most amazing people I could think of. And so we always have a lot of good stuff going on in the city, whether that's, in the summertime, we wrapped it up, but we had a series of just different concerts and things that we did in the city. And it's all free. We have a pretty major event. We're reopening our grand reopening for our downtown remodel. Our downtown Garland is going through a massive remodel right now, and it's October 14th. We have a concert that's going to be performed that night. It's free, and we're excited. We're prepping up for that, for security details and things like that on the police side, but the city's ramping up for vendors and different things that are going to be a part of that. And so we're super excited about that. Like Wylie, we're going to be participating in the National Night Out event, October 3rd, Tuesday, October 3rd. We do things just a little bit different. Wylie does it in the downtown area, and man, it's from what I've never been able to attend it because I'm always working hours, but from what I understand, it's a great festival type atmosphere. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mayor. I apologize if I lead anybody the wrong way, but in Garland, we actually go neighborhood to neighborhood. We kind of split up. And so our K9 unit will be going around, our motorcycle traffic officers will be going around, our SWAT team. I have a counterpart. And so me and my counterpart, we go around and we just hit as many events as we can and pass out stickers and any kind of literature people would have any needs or interest in the police department. And so we just kind of go around and celebrate with people and take pictures and stuff. And so we have a lot of fun and, my mind's kind of going blank at the moment.
That's all right. That's all right. We're getting ready to take our second break. So you'll give you a few seconds to think. I wanted to share something quick before we did go to break, though, is I moved here from Arkansas 30 years ago, and I moved to Garland. Didn't know anything about Garland, but I did know this, and this is going to tell you something about Arkansas. Garland had more population than the largest city in Arkansas at the time. And I was like this small town country boy. And by the way, Mayor, I know you're an Aggie fan, but I'm a Razorback fan. So, and y'all have had our number for about the last 15 years. Anyway, it was just amazing to me to know that Garland was a larger city than the largest city in the whole state of Arkansas. So that was a culture shock to me when I moved here 30 years ago, but I spent probably 15 years in Garland. So very familiar with it. So, all right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll let Officer Pesta finish up what he's talking about, and then we'll get into our topic for the day.
And now a word from a few of our amazing sponsors that make the Difference Radio, live stream, and podcast network possible.
JP Direct Health offers affordable health insurance solutions for individuals, families, and small businesses specializing in custom coverages to fit your needs and budget. JP Direct Health offers comprehensive benefits, including PPO health plans, accident and critical illness coverage, dental and vision, health matching accounts, along with telehealth at no cost per call. Call JP Direct Health today to learn more about how we can help you protect your health and your budget.
Do you want your home or office to sparkle? Then call Elite Diamond Cleaning today. From basic cleaning to deep cleaning, and using only the highest quality cleaning products and equipment, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Our team of experienced cleaners will work quickly and efficiently to clean every nook and cranny, taking care of all the details so you don't have to. With a variety of pricing options to fit any budget, you can be sure that you are getting the best possible price. Call Elite Diamond Cleaning today at 214-300-9876 to schedule a free estimate. Your home and office is a diamond. Let us get it out of the dust.
Are you looking for new or more reliable and affordable home services? Look no further than Utility Connect. At Utility Connect, we understand that every customer is different. Thanks to our partnership with The Difference, our free concierge service seamlessly shops all of your utilities and services for your home or business with one easy phone call. So what are you waiting for? Call Utility Connect today and experience the difference. For more information, give us a call at 469-414-2033 or visit us at www.utilityconnect.net/thedifference to learn more.
Are you a business owner looking to grow your company? Get fast, easy financing up to $5 million with no minimum FICO score required. Apply in 60 seconds and get funded in 24 hours. Call Jim Thomas at 214-629-7223 to talk to a financing professional today. Your business's future is waiting. So don't delay. Call now and tell him that you saw him on The Difference.
And now back to the show.
All right, we are back talking to Mayor Porter of Wylie and then Officer Pesta with the Garland Police Department. I want to thank you both for being here today, and also thank our sponsors for making this show possible. If you're interested in sponsoring, advertising, something like that, we're averaging about 4,000 to 5,000 viewers per week. Right now we have 8 shows a month, so reach out to us. We'd love to have you on, especially if you're part of the Wylie community. We want to get into our topic now. Do you have something, Dallas?
No, I'm good.
Okay, I thought I heard you say something. So we want to get into our topic now. Each month we have a topic, and we bring people on to talk a little bit about it. We are business centric, right? So we want to promote the local businesses and the small businesses within our community because they give so much back in so many different ways, and a lot of people don't understand that. And one of the shows we had a while back, and Mayor, you'll understand this. One in city leadership, I won't mention her name, but she was talking about how, and this was something that I don't think anybody understood. She was talking about traffic lights, right? And how once you hit 50,000 people, the city now becomes responsible for all of that. And so I thought that really kind of hit me of what we're trying to accomplish with these shows, to show people where money goes, that it's not just going out into infinity and never coming back again. But that's a huge expense for a city to take on when you go from 50,000 or 4,000, 49,999, and you add one more person, and now all of a sudden you've got this whole infrastructure of responsibility to take care of, and managing all of that. I think that's something that you guys don't get enough credit for, and we don't understand as citizens. And so, there's complaints sometimes about, well, there's too many businesses coming in. We want the small town feel, or the taxes are too high. Well, there's not enough businesses coming in. So it's a juggling act for you guys to be able to satisfy the small town feel, which I think y'all have done an amazing job of. I mean, and then also be able to be progressive and handle the growth, because growth is going to happen, whether a lot of us want it to or not. And so being able to find the benefits of that, just kudos to the city of Wylie for how y'all handled that, Mayor. I think you've done a wonderful job. But we want these shows to be able to talk about the small businesses. So our topic today, as you can see it scrolling on the bottom, the best practices for networking and building professional relationships in a local setting. My experience, I said that I've been here for 30 years, and I said that to tie into this. I started off in Garland, I lived in Rowlett, I've lived in Rockwall, and here in Wylie now. And it just impresses me how these large, and I said I came from Arkansas, a small community. So all of these are large communities to me, based from where I grew up, but they still have the small town feel. And so I think networking is a very important part of that, right? To have that group, that family friendly atmosphere. So I'm going to let Dallas start us. Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot. So I'm going to let Dallas start. Sorry, Jessica. It's still ladies first. We're just going to let Dallas go.
Yeah.
So Dallas, talk about why it's important, why it's so significant in a community like Wylie, like Garland even. I mean, Garland's got a large population, but you still have to network. Why is that important?
Well, somebody once told me that owning a business is a personal development plan with a paycheck attached to it. And I've definitely experienced that. I founded and started my business here in Wylie 12 and a half years ago. And at the time, I had moved to Wylie back in 2006, like January of 2006. I moved here, and about 5 years later, found myself owning a business in the great city of Wylie. And at the time, I was very introverted. Didn't like people, didn't like getting out. But somebody invited me to a Chamber of Commerce and said, hey, all you got to do is stand up for 30 seconds and talk about who you are and what you do. That 30 seconds sounded like, and it felt like an eternity to me that first time. First time I went, I stood up, maybe got 4 words out, and then shut up. And that was it. I got out, hi, my name is, and that was about it. And then it all went down to a train wreck from there. But I say that to say that getting involved in a local community and getting involved in local events has transformed me personally into a person who's now passionate. And not that I wasn't passionate before, but that I can actually take those passions for helping other people, making a difference, having an impact, and bettering the community, and actually do something with it. And so being involved in the local Chamber of Commerce, local community events, attending, Citizens Police Academy Association several years ago, and getting involved in the Citizens Police Academy, sitting in different events at City Council. These all have helped me to learn more about who is in the community, what the needs are, and it also gives me an opportunity as a business owner to meet those needs instead of just trying to pitch whatever product I think is going to make the most money.
Great.
So that's where community involvement makes the difference, is that you're not just, hey, buy my stuff, hey, buy my stuff, hey, buy my stuff. It's how can I actually make an impact and positively affect the people that live and work right next door.
Good point. I love those points that you made, Dallas. Jessica, you are a lot like me. You are not born and raised here. You're not a native. What do you call a Wylie resident?
What do I call it?
Wyliean?
A
Wyliean.
Wyliean. I don't know what you would call it. I don't want to mess it up. But so it's important, for folks like us that move into the community to assimilate well and build good relationships. So talk about your networking challenges, the benefits, what you've seen. You do a great job in our master networks. So just talk about that a little bit, about your experiences and why it's important.
Oh man. So when I moved here, I moved here from Wyoming. I kind of picked a spot on a map. I was actually looking around the Denton area, and then I drove through downtown Wylie and fell in love when I saw the little old Opry down there. I knew this was probably the town for me. So that's kind of how I picked this town. And then started Diesel Signs about 5 years ago. And I think actually Dallas invited me to the Chamber Business Card Exchange. So he saw me slaughter my first 30 seconds, and it was horrible. I think he saw me turn like 8 shades of red and probably squeak some sentences out. And luckily I was wearing a name tag, so they knew who I was, but that was about it. So, but I love the networking. I wish I would have done it when I was younger. I tried to join a little networking group when I first got my sign shop, and it was a bunch of older men, and I just kind of felt out of place. It was like a good old boys kind of club, and I didn't realize the value that you actually get out of it. But I also like to offer help, not really ask for help. But that's kind of part of my culture with the business too. I don't want to sell someone a $30,000 sign. I would rather see what works in their budget. I like to educate rather than sell. I like to see what's going to help the client. You know, try to do it that way. So
Yeah.
I like communication, transparency. I've worked with so many vendors that have, and this is just nationwide. I'm not saying that this is just here. Bad communicators, and I lay it on there. If we're running late or we're going to be delayed, we absolutely let the customer know. So I'm fully transparent and expectations of what the client expects from us. And I think that really helps solidify what our culture is and our success as well. So.
Very good. I went with our co-host first today. Normally we go with our guests, but the reason I want to go co-host first today is because when you look at someone that is employed by, say, a police department, or you look at I don't want to say a political figure mayor, I'd rather say a city leadership, because some people think that the politician word is a really, really terrible word. But both of you, in both of your careers, networking, building relationships is critical within the community. Mayor, for you, obviously getting elected, getting reelected, you've got to network, you got to build, but that's not the real purpose, right? The networking is to help the initiatives, to help the progress, and to help the things that you're trying to do that makes the biggest impact. And Dallas used that word, but the largest impact, positive impact for the residents of Wylie. And so networking and talking to the business leaders and the business owners, as well as the residents, is super important for you. And then Officer Pesta, I mean, just being part of the police department and being integrated into the community. You just talked earlier about, the different departments going to different parts of the community and that interaction. So I want both of you to speak on that a little bit. What I'm going to do right now, we're a little early, but I'm going to go ahead and hit our last commercial break so that when we come back, both of you can talk a little bit more at length about that. So everybody stick around. We'll be right back.
The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie is made possible in part by Jenny Connolly with TC Roofing and Restoration. Trust TC to keep you leak-free. Jessica Cooper with Diesel Signs and Displays. The power of advertising. Lynn Heberly with Coldwell Banker Apex, guiding you home with heart and expertise. Caitlin Fiesel with Elite Diamond Cleaning. Your home and office is a diamond. Let's get it out of the dust. Dallas Jones with Rementis, bringing your memories and technology back to life. Melissa Mancini, owner of Melissa Mancini Photography. Don't let your babies grow up to be JPEGs. And by Marissa Page with Page Restoration. When the worst happens, let our family take care of yours. The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie. Together, we can make the difference.
And now back to the show.
All right. Thank you for sticking around in our final segment. We're going to talk a little bit more about the local networking, why it's so important for the community. We talked to a couple of our co-hosts and business owners here within the Wylie community. Most people understand how networking is so critical to the growth and stability of your business. But fortunately today we've got two people that have a different perspective, and so I want to get your thoughts on that. We're going to go with Officer Pesta first. Give us your perception and maybe your strategy or the police department strategy and how y'all network, who you network with, to make the most positive impact you can on the Garland area.
No, absolutely. So obviously a community needs a police department. Without a police department, you would just have anarchy. But equally as important, if not more, you have to have a community that supports your police department, because we are run because of the citizens. Obviously just my paycheck, our equipment costs, that comes from taxpayer dollars. And so we have to align with one another in a perfect harmony. And because you can, and I'm not meaning to go down a rabbit hole, but you can kind of see what happens when there is distrust in a police department within a community, and it has tragic results. We work very hard to keep those relationships strong. And how we do that is we involve ourselves in our community. And so I'll give you a couple examples. Somebody mentioned it earlier, our Citizen Police Academy. I think that, Dallas, that might have been you. Most cities have a Citizen Police Academy. Garland has a very large one. We have about 306 active members in our Citizen Police Academy Alumni Association. And we hold 2 classes a year. I just started class session 59. I just started that about 2 weeks ago. This coming Thursday is going to be our 3rd class session, and it's 13 weeks. We have a graduation at the end. It's very fancy. We hold it at our atrium in downtown Garland. We have it catered with dinner. We provide certificates, and we have a couple trophies for outstanding members. But we make a big deal about it because during the course, it's free to our, if you live or work in the city of Garland, it's completely free. But we are asking for your time. Our members, whoever's attending the class in that session, when we have about 30 members, that's the goal to graduate is 30. So I have 31 in this class right now. I hope all 31 graduate. But they come once a week and they meet for 3 hours, and we show the ins and the outs. We pull the curtain back and we show you, because unfortunately, most people's perception of a police department is from TV, movies, the media, which all 3 are radically incorrect on what we actually do on a daily basis. And so I have never, ever had somebody start the class, because when they start the class, they have this opinion about how a police department operates based on those 3, right? And so I've never had somebody graduate and say, well, you're exactly what I thought. It's always, oh my gosh, it blows my mind on what y'all do and how caring and compassionate you are. I mentioned a little earlier how our patrol officers, we respond to people's worst days of their life. They've either been out of control, they're a victim of a crime, or something has just happened where they need complete strangers to come help them, or first responders. And so we don't just take people to jail and write tickets. We help people on a daily basis. Most of our calls for service are just getting somebody out of whatever crisis they're in whatever form we can do that. And so that's what we do, and we ingrain ourselves and we build that trust through different programs and stuff like that. And so we have a lot of different programs. So I'll kind of give the floor back to you, and if you want me to keep elaborating, I absolutely will. But our Citizen Police Academy is a great program, and I encourage anybody who works or lives in Garland to please fill out an application. You can just simply Google or run a search engine for Garland Citizen Police Academy. The application is going to pop up. It's also on our Garland Police website. But I strongly encourage any listener to research within your own city if your city has one of those. In most cities, if you work in the city, you can also attend their Citizen Police Academy.
I think you expressed that very well, and I think that I feel bad for every police department because y'all are behind the eight ball a little bit. It's kind of like what we talked about at the beginning of the show, right? We want to bring out what the positive things are because there's plenty of people that all they focus on is what's wrong with something. And I think that our local citizens needs to see that that is not the intent and purpose anywhere. So thank you very much for being on and sharing that with us today. Mayor, so critical when you're talking about leading a city and getting support for initiatives, because man, I tell you, it's kind of like there was a time in my past where I was a football coach, right? So I made 11 parents happy and about 45 parents very unhappy every week. And so you can't please everybody all the time, but building the relationships and building it where they do at least trust your intentions and your motives is very important. So talk about, if you will, how you network in doing your job, but also in leading and getting those support for those initiatives within the Wylie area.
Yeah, it's definitely something that if you're serving for the right reason, then you are supposed to be on that council as a voice for the people that puts you into office. But you have to remember that whether they voted for you or voted for someone else, you're still supposed to serve the entire community. Mm-hmm. And in order to do that, I think the number one thing is you have to be open and communicate with your citizens. Too many times people can end up closed off, and that's how they start to make decisions that are disconnected from those that they're serving. And so something that we have focused on, and I specifically do, is making sure that we have outreach to network with our citizens, whether that is always reminding people that we have open meetings. I try to make sure that I am available to different groups, whether that's coming on a radio show or a podcast like this, whether it's taking the opportunity to go to a chamber meeting, whether that is going to a downtown merchants meeting. I try to get out to all of the different events that go on throughout the city to make myself available. I have a policy that, if you call the mayor's phone, my cell phone is available to citizens. I do my best to return it as quickly as possible. If you email the mayor, it doesn't go to an administrative assistant or someone else. You hear back from me. And that for me is the best way for me to be able to continue to network and receive feedback from individuals, because to your point, we get tasked with very difficult decisions. We're never going to make everyone happy. I don't think there's a single decision that we have made that has made everyone perfectly happy. There are some that really haven't raised any ire that we become aware of, but there are people who are probably would consider themselves ambivalent to it. They don't care one way or the other. And so I just tell people that the most important thing that I can do in someone trying to serve is to remember you are there to serve. And to do that, you have to communicate. And I think that's to the points that everyone else has made. Communication, getting out, talking to people, and making yourself available is critical. It's not always easy. It's not always fun, but that's how you build relationships. And networking is about relationships. You can go somewhere and sit through a meeting or sit through an event and really gain nothing out of it other than if you learn something. Because if you're not doing it and building relationships, then at the end of the day, when you go home and everyone else there goes home, you haven't created a foundation for continuing to have involvement with them. And that relationship building, as Officer Pesta was saying, is key for our first responders. It's key for our city departments. It's a key for businesses. Being involved in the community, being interested in your customers and your consumers is something that drives success. People don't go back somewhere or develop brand loyalty or whatever it might be unless they develop a connection and a relationship with it. And there are a lot of people who get paid a lot of money in advertising firms and groups like that from your big national brands for a local business to be able to be successful with that, I think it's absolutely critical that they develop that personal connection and relationship with members of the community. And one of the ways you do that is by getting involved. Sponsorships, going to meetings and events. I know they have the Master Network here in Wylie. You have the Chamber. We have boards and commissions that people serve on. I know different individuals throughout the community, including Dallas, have been roped into some of those as volunteers and giving their time back. But that also lets them connect with other, movers and shakers within the community. And then that opens their network up to you. And so, again, I think you can sum up the importance of networking being building relationships.
Absolutely. One of the things a word that you used term was ambivalence. And I think that unfortunately our culture is more going towards ambivalence than being engaged and interconnected with the things that are going on. I think that a lot of police departments have faced that challenge. And I think that networking in all capacities helps humanize not only our small business owner, right? We're not the large major corporations, and I'm not bashing those, but kind of like what you said, Mayor, in some businesses, when you call, you get an automated response. I know when you call these two folks on the show today, you're going to get them. That's who's going to answer. And so being able to make those connections and let people know that there's human beings that are involved in city leadership, in our police departments, in our public service, and in our small businesses, I think that helps so much. There's a movie, and most of you probably have seen it. Remember the Titans? Anybody seen that movie? With Denzel? Okay, when he brought them together and they had to sit down and learn something about each other's family, changed the whole dynamic of what was going on within that transition that they were going through, because they started to realize that you're just like me. There's no difference. You're trying to accomplish the same things. I hope it happens within my community. So we've got about 3 minutes left. Mayor, you're up. You've got your information scrolling. What we're going to do is quickly, about 20 seconds a piece, we're going to tell everybody how to get in touch with us.
Yeah, so go to the city website. You can always reach out through there. All of our meetings are live streamed. We have videos. I encourage people to get involved. mayor@wylietexas.gov, Texas spelled out, or Matthew.Porter as is scrolling there. Either one will get to me. And all of those are the official channels. If you're interested in talking to me, otherwise, you can always find me on social media. I'm not hard to spot on those. But I just want to say thank you guys for having us on. And again, I want to leave everyone with a quick challenge of get involved in the community. And if you have the time and passion to give back, our boards and commissions are always looking for great people on an annual basis. Consider applying and consider serving because we're better when we get the input and ideas from our community.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor, for being here today. Officer Pesta?
Yes. So my personal work email is Pesta M. So that's PESTAM as in Mary @garlandtx.gov. So that's how you can get a hold of me directly. On our police website, we have all of our major contacts. You can email the chief of police directly, all the way down to officers. So that's how you get a hold of us. And we respond in a timely manner. Anything the community needs, we are going to, come through and be a part of the community and things like that. And so, man, I got to be honest, it's an honor to be here. This was a great show. And man, thank you. I'd love to come back someday.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you both back.
Absolutely.
Jessica, tell us how to get in touch with you.
Well, I want to throw this out real quick for my guests. The Garland Police Department is hiring for a public safety dispatch. It's a 4-week course, so that is right on their website. And thank you so much, Officer Pesta, for squeezing us into your schedule. I'm not going to talk about diesel. You guys know where to find us, so we're right here in town. Remember the Wylians. We'll say that.
Wylians. Dallas?
Yeah, I do want to say thank you so much, Officer Pesta, Mayor Porter. The reason this is a great show is because you guys show up.
Yeah.
And, so we're eternally grateful for that. Y'all know how to get a hold of me. Find me on Facebook. Or if you want to do something even more impactful, come to the Chamber Luncheon on Tuesday and you'll see me there.
That's great. Mayor, Officer Pesta, thank y'all so much for what you shared with us today, because again, I think you shared so much information that every resident of every city needs to understand, that we're all in this together, and we're all doing the very best that we can to make the best and most positive impact. So when you can come on and share some things that we may not understand, we're fighting that ambivalence. And so I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Unfortunately, we are out of time. And so we will be back on Thursday with another edition of the Community Difference-Wylie. So we'll see you then.
Thank you for watching today's show. If you like today's show, please share, like, and subscribe, and make sure to shop, buy, and hire in Wylie. Special thanks to all the guests, co-hosts, and sponsors of the North Texas Community Difference-Wylie.
Thank you for tuning in and watching our show. If you would like to see our next show, or more shows like this one, just click the QR code and go to show schedules, or just follow and subscribe to our channels to get updates and notifications of this show, and many others like it.